Okay, let's start with, is it a waste of time dating someone unemployed?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
You're not going to think about it? You're not going to think of their personality, their character?
Yes.
Okay.
Like,
I know what you're going to say.
What am I gonna say?
You're going to say that a man is not himself if he is broke.
100%. So, one, you can date someone and they'll have potential and maybe they're great people, but you don't know how they are when they can acquire what they want. Yeah, bro? So how are you even sure that you're his type? Like, you know,
Oh, okay.
maybe this is what he can get right now.
So it is the month of love and our love journey is back. How about you say it with Cadbury P.S. by shooting your shot?
Someone who knows how to shoot their shot is you.
No! What? I did not ask you.
I didn't say anything.
I know
I just said
we've
you know
got-
how to shoot your shot.
We've got different stories. We have a cool competition that Cadbury P.S. is running. But before that, I wrote, I'm shooting my shot. It is the month of love. You haven't asked me. Have you seen this meme on Instagram where everyone's like me sitting and waiting for my husband to ask me to be his Valentine's Day, even though we're married, happily married and have kids. Have you seen it?
I have not seen it.
Oh, you should see
we
it,
have
'cause-
different algorithms.
You should say it because you haven't asked me to be your Valentine. I'm shooting my shot. Say it with P.S. Cadbury P.S. You're going to read it out loud.
Okay. This morning.
Okay.
Ooh.
You have to read it out loud.
Dear Brenden, movie plus late swim. We used to do this a lot. Remember when our
Yeah.
kids were young?
Yeah.
When they couldn't walk in on us.
Oh, don't change, Brendan.
Huh?
Don't change the topic. You have to say yes or no.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I love a good movie.
Okay,
and
so
I
you
love
say
a
yes
late
by
swim.
taking a bite, and you say no by returning the chocolate.
All right. Ooh. Okay.
Is that a yes?
Let's get some ASMR.
There we go. Okay. You
My
gonna
favorite.
shoot your shot at the end of the episode?
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Okay.
When me and Mpoomy started dating, this is a true story, by the way. It's not just because there's Cadbury P.S. right here, but like this was our thing. We used to buy Cadbury P.S. all the time and share it. And based on how we were doing that week, it's got all these little messages.
Yeah.
I think I'm sorry probably got the the highest rotation
Wasn't there one
because
about a hug or something?
there was a
like
hug one, there was a I miss you.
Yeah.
They're still there, I think. But yeah, so I remember because I always used to share the I'm sorry one because I was
were
always
sorry. You were sorry.
I was always sorry. Yeah.
So we did share that Our Love Journey is coming back. Not
It
just mine and your conversations, but actually the docu-series,
Yeah.
which is exciting because we took a long break, a very long break.
We did. You know, Mshato, you need to focus on it. When
Yeah.
you're married, you can't just be a guru sharing
Yeah.
out advice and stuff instead of actually looking after your own marriage. And
Yeah.
so I think, yeah, we were just kind of doing that and also just living life, and so much has changed. I mean, you're like one of the biggest podcasters now. You know, I'm a big artist.
Grammy nominated artist.
And so so we just kind of had to realign things and just get to grips with where our lives were.
Yeah. And we weren't even sure that we're gonna come back, but like I think there were just signs. We didn't know when we stopped. We didn't know that we were coming back. We just knew that
Yeah.
let's just focus. And I think towards last year, I kind of started getting a feel that I think God wants us to be back, and Pastor K is the one who like gave us no option.
Yeah, I mean, it's
He was just like, I'm not asking you. And you know, when someone speaks, you listen.
you have to listen. Yeah, and I think also just we like to share things that we've experienced, and if you feel like there's a lot that we have to share,
Yeah.
then we do it. I say it's just because
For
you know
vibes.
we've got the cameras and stuff. No, it's about actually having something valuable that we want to tell.
Sure. So for our first conversation, because I didn't feel like, I know you and I see deep, we can be really deep. So I was just like, you know what, let's get a feel of where people are at. Let me give them a chance to ask us some questions. Some are about us, some about
And
their own lives.
disclaimer, Mpoomy didn't show me any of these questions.
I did
So
not.
I am actually going to be
We're dissecting
We're freestyling it, and we're being as authentic as possible.
as possible.
No, we haven't prepped anything.
We haven't prepped it.
beforehand.
We never really do. I try not, so that when you prep, and even with the podcast, when you over prep, it's like then you rehearse. But when it's just organic,
Then it's real.
yeah. But I've realized that the questions are actually they've stayed similar. Since Cadbury P.S is saying, shoot your shot. I figured let's start with the most common one. Should women be asking men out?
In 2025?
In 2025,
Like,
we're
how
back
are we
at this
still-
question.
How are we still wondering?
We're still there.
It depends. Like
Okay.
what kind of person you're with, you know?
Okay.
Like some men are shy,
Yeah.
you know?
They need a nudge.
And they need a nudge, and maybe they're a little bit, but it also depends. Like you're shooting your shot for what? Ufuna ukushada or
No,
ufuna
definitely
story?
not for marriage.
Or ufuna, you know?
I don't think women
But
should
if you're on a
propose.
date, I think sometimes guys just aren't seeing the signs, you know?
Will you be my boyfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, just maybe. Okay. I don't know about will you be my boyfriend, but I'd say, hey, I'd like to go out for a drink with you.
Even will you be my boyfriend or what are we? I know girls love
It's like,
what are we?
I actually think that is the
What
most,
are we
that
is
is an
your
important
favorite line.
That is an important question because there's so many blurred lines. You're thinking you building a home with a person, Kandi they still sussing out, which is I think it's fair, especially when you're older and you're going on multiple dates, and so
I
it's
don't know.
fair.
I wouldn't know.
No, you would know.
I've never been.
Yeah,
on
we've
multiple
been out
dates.
of the dating.
We started
scene.
dating when we were quite young.
We were very young.
And
Yeah.
But like, look, I think it depends on the person that you're with.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, some girls they like more stronger willed.
Yeah.
And if you take initiative, and you feel like he's just a bit nonchalant, Pela inonchi it's the new thing. A lot of guys are quite nonchalant right now. They're not trying to give away too much. But if you feel like you want to know what we are,
Yeah.
then I
ask
think
that.
yeah, I think be upfront.
Just know that that's you for the whole relationship.
No, it
I'm
doesn't.
jo-
It doesn't.
okay, I'm
You
joking.
shot your shot.
I
and-
did
and-
not
I'm
shoot my
I'm
shot.
kidding.
Next question. What has helped you manage the various transitional phases of your relationship from dating to marriage to parenting, and now what phase are we in now?
I don't know. Having kids that are in school.
Yeah, like grown up. Like we're grown. I actually said when we turned 31, I was like, I don't know if
old
we've said
people
this
now.
before, but we're now at that phase where there's no more that excuse of, oh, you guys are still young. And I know all the 40s and 50s are going to be like, oh, you guys are still, but we can't, I feel like this is like it's serious. Like I wake up and I make a lunchbox and like it's
you actually
like it's serious.
You're doing a morning routine. You know what I miss?
What?
I miss people saying, "Yo, you're doing so well for
your age."
It's,
Right.
it's like now I'm at the age
Like,
where I should
you
be
should
doing what
well,
I'm doing.
like, duh.
It's and I truly like nie groot man, hey? Like
I don't know about fruit nine. We are still considered. We're still on the other side. We're still closer to the.
Yeah.
But we like getting older. I think it's a gift. It's a nice.
It's
thing.
lovely, but you know what I like though,
What?
because I do the school drops with the kids, and most of the parents are like still like they're quite old, so I still feel good. Like sometimes I'm on there, like I feel like the high school
they
kids
old?
they're looking
Oh,
at,
yeah, it's like
they're looking at me
cool
like I'm one of
dad.
them type of thing, you
Brenden,
know.
come on.
And then they'll be
One of them?
and then they'll be like, "Hi, sir," and I'm like, "Hi, I'm not sir, it's fine."
I'm bro.
Like I'm yo, what's up, dude? So I don't even know if
cool.
kids still say dude anymore.
There's a word. What's the gosh?
What's the
What's the call? I heard it on radio the other day. I'm like, oh, Brendan told me about this. Anyway, the question is, how have you handled the different transitions?
I think, look, we're probably going to use this word a lot, but I think communicating
Yeah.
is important because a lot of times transitions happen and it's not like a one particular moment.
Yeah.
So it's happening over time gradually, and you find yourself now living this new life and still having like the old habits.
Correct.
And I think that can be frustrating for your partner.
Yeah.
If the conversation isn't had to say, hey, I know that you used to sleep till 7, like wherever, whenever, but now we've got our kids need to be at school at 7.
Yeah.
So maybe, it's
6,
time to adjust.
5,
Let's
yeah.
try and So that's the thing. It's like you can gradually grow into this life, and all of a sudden you're in a different phase of your life.
Yeah.
And you still have habits from the old life that you lived, and I think the communication part is super key, and awareness.
Yeah,
I guess
awareness.
because
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
communicate with someone who isn't aware,
It's
it
a
creates a lot of
resentment.
Yeah.
You're reminding me, and you know, I think transition is, it's important to note that transition is not easy. And I like what you said about awareness. First,
Yeah.
you have to acknowledge that you're in a transition phase, you know,
Absolutely.
and it almost feels like you're not sure whether you're coming, you're going, you're there or here. And I listened to a beautiful sermon, and Pastor Stephanie said, change begets change. And that comes with transition, is that things are changing, and the sooner you accept it, the better. And what she said was important is that as you're changing, you're losing people, you are probably gaining people, the dynamics of a relationship are changing, specifically to dating and marriage. You're changing, I'm changing, and what's important to go through transition in the best way possible is to not have resentment, but to actually have the awareness and allow for the other person to change, and for you to change, and for the dynamics of the relationship to actually change. So I think ultimately transition just comes with change, and you just have to be open to it. And like you said, communication is important, but more consistent communication. We have to check in all the time now.
Yeah.
And we spoke about this, in fact, today, where we said, you know, whereas maybe 5 years ago, it could take us longer to resolve an issue. It could take us a day or two.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't think we're in that space where we can do that, because it just builds up and builds up. So we have to resolve things as soon as possible. That could be a season. I think it should be general, but now more than before, it's more important that we resolve quicker.
It is, because so many other things are dependent on us getting along.
Yeah.
So we don't really have the luxury of having these long stretched out fights.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like, we kind of have to fix things because we have, like we depend on each other.
We depend on each other. I'm gonna generalize. I'm gonna just try sum it up. There was a lot of questions about in-laws, and just people asking that, what do you do with toxic in-laws? How do you deal with your in-laws don't like you?
Yeah.
And I thought about this the whole day. And I want to go first. You can go back.
Please.
You can respond.
I really have nothing to say. I have an amazing in-laws.
You and my dad like call each other more than, you know. But I thought about the question, and it normally comes mostly from women. And I realized, I was like, why is it that there's so many people with issues with their in-laws? And I realized that it's because we don't look at our in-laws as other relationships. So there's room for you and I to not get along. There's room for you to have bad habits. There's room for my friends to have bad habits. There's room for me and my mother to not get along, or my sister. But as soon as it becomes the in-laws, it's as if we've boxed them in this corner where they're not allowed to have their own toxic. We all have toxic traits. I have toxic traits. You do. My parents do. But when it comes to in-laws, we kind of expect them to not have toxic traits. And so I think that's kind of where the issue stems from. And it's not an easy thing, because it's like these people essentially, it's like they become your parents in your 20s, but you haven't grown up with the good they do, the bad they do. You don't know them like that. So you have to learn these new adults and just take them on. So I think the solution, not even solution, I think a first step when building relationship with in-laws is, first we have to see them as people who have good and bad, just like our own families, and then relate as such. If you know that in your family with your brother you have to relate with him this way, then you have to extend the same grace with your in-laws. Relate to people from where they come from. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does, but I think the answer is really in the question, in that you said something about how we give allowance for people that we choose.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is with in-laws, we don't always choose them, right? You
I
choose.
forgot how wise you are.
It's these Cadbury P.S. It's you choose your spouse, and then you see their family as as their accessories. So it's easy for me to put up with your shortcomings because I chose you.
You chose me, yeah.
So by virtue of choosing you, I chose everything that comes with you. So yeah. So it's like, I mean, think about this, right? Imagine if I invited you to my house. Let's say we're not dating.
Okay.
And I just invite you. I'm like, hey, I'm having a thing. Come through. I'm going to make food and whatever.
Yeah.
And then you come, but then you come with a friend of yours. Now, this friend of yours, let's say it's you. Let's say you're Timon. Your friend is Pumbaa. So, so it's Timon and Pumbaa. And here's Pumbaa. Pumbaa magafika man. Sekayenza ama demands. You know. Do you have vegan meals?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have sparkling water.
Pumbaa, you
I'm
weren't
like, but
invited.
Pumbaa, I didn't even invite you. I invited Timon.
Yeah.
So it becomes that thing. You're looking at this person's family.
Yeah.
And whenever they do something that you don't like,
You weren't even. I didn't even choose. You weren't
it's like I
even
didn't even
invited.
choose. Yeah. So I know, but that's obviously looking at it from the perspective of the spouse or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But generally, also there is the issues of male families as well. Like I feel like there's like this expectation from women
Yeah.
that they should let go of their lives and who
Yeah.
they are and just like immediately become part of the family as if they did grow with us, and they didn't. And
Sure.
the truth of the matter is you're from a different family, you know, and so you're not going to act like my sisters.
Yeah.
Because you don't think like them. You think the way you think. And I think it's just about sensitivity and understanding that it has, like, it's in our best interest for these dynamics to work.
Yeah. There's something that my mom has a group of women called Victorious Wives, and it's a very small, intimate group. And one of the things she would say about in-laws, especially because I think there's deeper issues, obviously.
Yeah.
What she would say is that, you have to consider that sometimes, for the most part, you go there once a year
Yeah.
for 3 days. Swallow your pride, serve, and consider doing it for your husband.
Yeah.
And deal with it. And obviously, if you're in a healthy relationship, if it's extreme toxicity, your husband should be able to say, you know what,
Yeah.
this is where the line is drawn. But in the smaller little issues, I think there comes a point where you just have to go, it's 3 days in a year. Let me do what I need to do.
I think couples, or as couples, we do need to have the conversations.
Yeah.
And I need to prep you, you know, like,
Yeah.
like it should be my job, my responsibility to say, hey, babe, so this is how they do it back home.
Yeah.
And this is what my mom likes. This is what my dad's like. And this is how my siblings are. And so don't be offended if this happens. Don't, like, all those things.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not about
yeah,
you.
like prep your partner. How are you going to send them in blindly?
Oh, Jan Manj, like,
You know?
what is this?
So
I agree with that.
we
I
do
love
have that responsibility.
So this one specifically says, is it a waste of time dating a guy that is unemployed? And I'm gonna mix it with questions of, what if my partner earns less than me, etc. So it's a financial question of a partner.
Okay, but you really can't mix those two because those are two different.
Okay, let's start with, is it a waste of time dating someone unemployed?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
You're not going to think about it? You're not going to think of their personality, their character?
Yes.
Okay.
Like,
I know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say?
You're going to say that a man is not himself if he is broke.
100%. So, one, you can date someone and they'll have potential and maybe they're great people, but you don't know how they are when they can acquire what they want. Yeah, bro? So how are you even sure that you're his type? Like, you know?
Oh, okay.
Maybe this is what he can get right now. So, no, personally, but again, this is my own personal opinion. I think, and also maybe it's because I'm also privileged in that I've never had a job.
Yeah.
And I've never not had an income.
Okay.
But you know this.
Yeah.
When I couldn't do what I wanted.
You were horrible.
No, that's not what I was going to say.
Sorry. What were you going to say?
I was going to say I was never too proud to do something.
Oh, yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
You know, Dave Chappelle says this. Taking away a man's livelihood is akin to killing him.
Sure.
Yeah, because again, you strip them of their true authenticity and how they really feel.
Yeah, their dignity, their natural way of thinking.
Their natural way of thinking, instinctively, they have to consider how this affects their livelihood.
Did you know you could win a trip to Zanzibar with Cadbury P.S? And all you have to do is say it with Cadbury P.S by shooting your shot. How to enter the competition? Buy 2 messaging Cadbury P.S chocolate bars, dial *120 *10 to enter. And like I said, you could be on your way to Zanzibar. And let's make it fun. Let us know how your relationship is going this February by sharing with us on the socials. Tag Brenden and I, use the hashtag #ILoveJourney, and shoot your shot with Cadbury P.S.